Good afternoon. I have the pleasure today of introducing two speakers who are probably well known to all of you, or most of you. The first is Kirk Hallman. Kirk is a native of Muskegon who, after finishing school here, went on to Michigan State University and then served for 20 years in Lafayette, Indiana as the executive director of a musical arts organization. Then in 2013, he returned to Muskegon and took the position of development officer at the Muskegon Museum of Art. And then in 2017, he took the position of executive director of that fine institution. And the second person is someone who, again, I'm sure you know, is Frank Bednarek, who for the last 25 years has been a volunteer for the Muskegon Museum of Art, serving as collection chairman for more than 15 years and currently serving as the chair of the board of trustees and co-chairing the capital campaign for expansion and renovation. Today's program is going to focus on that capital campaign for expansion and renovation, which I imagine many of you have read about in recent weeks. There's a very exciting project that the two of them are working on, and we're going to hear about that. So why don't we get started? We have an institution that many of us are very proud of, and which of you would like to address just some basics about the institution and why we should be so proud of it?
Yeah, I can start off. Well, I mean, most people here in the room are familiar with Muskegon Museum of Art. We know it's one of the best art museums in the Midwest. It has one of the finest permanent collections in the Midwest. And we simply come to a point where we're out of room, not only for the art, but what we do. We're desperately out of room. We were out of room back in the 80s when we built on the Walker Wing. And, I think many people know we're still active collecting art museums. So what we're doing here, and we've been working on it pretty earnestly for a few years, is adding about 20,000 square feet onto the building. We have about 5,000 pieces in the collection. They're all good, high-quality pieces, pieces that are on loan around the world all the time, in demand. And on a good day, because of our rotating exhibitions, we only get about 125 to 150 pieces out at one time. And we've collected, I just counted in the main Cannon gallery, we have 15 new pieces in there from the past 5 years we've acquired. So that means 15 favorites went away. So just because of this aggressive temporary exhibition schedule we just can't get it out. So really what we're doing is pretty simple. We're going to add about 20,000 square feet onto the building out back in the parking lot. And we're going to do one big gallery, about 5,000 square foot gallery, so we can do big exhibitions like the Curtis or maybe a car show. And art is generally just bigger these days. It's physically bigger. So we can attract touring shows to Muskegon that we normally don't have the facility requirements for. We're going to add two other galleries, about 16 to 20 to 2,000 square feet. And those will be rotating spaces, 2 classrooms, because we are, growing exponentially in our programming. And these will be like drop-in type areas and really connected to the school system. And supporting space, we need a new vault, basement, storage, workshops, that kind of stuff, and all the connecting spaces that go between them. So it's really going to enable us to really amplify what we do there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Frank, you've been, in your previous life, before you were so almost full-time engaged with the Art Museum, you spent a lot of time in economic development, and maybe you can talk about how you see a connection between that and the arts in Muskegon.
Yes, Jackie, thank you. It's a very big connection. Cultural tourism is a growing phenomena in our area, and the Museum of Art is actually leading the way for our community in terms of contributing to the vitality of the tourist industry. Not only are we attractive to the cruise ships that are stopping here on a regular basis, but we're also attractive to people who are traveling from Chicago to northern Michigan. And we're also attractive to our sister counties. Our membership and our attendance is enhanced by visits from Grand Haven, Grand Rapids, Lansing, We are truly a destination, and our goal is to make us even more of a destination, where we can show more of what we have, and we can show it in a larger setting that is more comfortable for people to attend.
Thanks. So this will be a very expensive project, and that was covered in a newspaper article not too long ago. But why don't either of you address the cost of an undertaking such as this?
Sure. It's a $9.9 million project, and that's the goal of the campaign. This week, we've hit $9 million, so we have $900,000 to go. And, the last bit's kind of the toughest. It's a game of inches towards the goal line, so we need all the help we can get. But we have a major project now, however it lands. We'd like to get to 9.9. I think we will this summer. But I think it's pretty remarkable on the trustees' behalf and the cabinet's behalf that we were supposed to be here over a year ago at Rotary, doing the public launch of the campaign. And we just did the public launch in March, and here we're here 14 months later. We did all this through COVID. It's a great team, and it says a lot about the community that they have been supporting this campaign through Zoom meetings. Basically. So it's been successful, but we're not quite there yet. But we hope to be in the coming months.
So we're coming out of COVID, we hope. What is the timing for the next phases and the? I know you've got an event coming very soon to make some announcements. What can you tell us without?
We're introducing the architect, Ann Beha Architects out of Boston. We had 33 firms submit proposals from around the country, and Beha is a very prestigious firm. And we're so thrilled that they're doing it. I mean, she's worked on Smithsonian, Portland Art Museum expansion, countless museum expansion. So right now we're in the schematic design phase, and probably by the end of the summer we'll have something very exciting to show the public. Probably 9 months of that between the design, construction documents, and bidding out. And maybe next spring, we're pretty confident we'll be digging a large hole in the ground, and fall 2023 opening if all goes well.
Great.
Next year is our 110th anniversary, and we're excited to get this project underway to celebrate our 110th year.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm. It is, yes.
Great tie-in. Yeah. What else can you tell us? The community obviously has been very supportive up till now. What else can the community do to support the initiative?
You can get on our website. We have QR codes all over the place. You can scan those, make a contribution. We still have a lot of naming opportunities available. And we have, just call the museum, call me, call Frank. We have tons of documents and great brochures, real pretty looking stuff that you can look at and make the whole case on paper or talk to us. But we need all the help we can get getting past the goal line. It's been very successful so far, and we just want to get this wrapped up. I think Frank wants to get it wrapped up. He's been at it a long time too.
Yeah.
So
Jackie, I would say too, to add to Kirk's comments, is that he and the staff are very willing to give tours and to demonstrate to folks who may be interested in more detail as to what our plans are, to actually show them the problems that we have with the existing facility and what we might do if we can realize our goal. So again, as Kirk said, just call either one of us and we would make that arrangement. And the staff are very willing to take the time to show people what our existing situation is and what we dream it to be.
Yeah, we'll give you the backstage tour downstairs, and we talk about the need for more space, classrooms and things to serve the public. But what we also need is the storage and workspace, because if you saw our storage space stacked with frames, you walk into a storage room, that's it. It's got vitrines, pedestals, the whole thing. So to take anything out, to rearrange, whatever work we do, we have to move 1,000 things to get to one thing. Our loading dock, it's also our workshop. It's where the custodian sets up and the caterer comes in. We set up for events. Then we have just deliveries all at the same time. So that's kind of the background part of this project. It's maybe the simplest, but that'll make us work a lot more efficiently and be able to use our resources more widely, our staff power, and just make us more impactful. Those little things will add up.
Your gala is coming up, your annual gala, which didn't happen last year. Is that correct?
Nope.
Because of COVID. So
Nobody's
that
did,
I understand it's going to be right. So it'll be very different this year. Maybe you can talk about that. And will the proceeds from that go towards this project?
No, proceeds from that will go to our operations. We're still a functioning art museum and all this, and we have to raise that about 50% of our revenue. We have to go out and fundraise for operations on top of the capital campaign. So the gala will fund that. We're moving it to Hackley Park because when we had to pull the trigger on it, there were a lot of restrictions in place, and that was a nice, safe option. And we're still going to keep it there. I think it's going to be fun. And there's a little question of what the future may hold. But speaking about our normal operations, this is also going to be a really ambitious exhibition year. We have a Edward Curtis show of lost photographs of his Alaska trip opening in the fall. That's only been in the family's possession. They're stunning. We're going to open that in September. Then in the wintertime, we're turning the big gallery into a 9-hole miniature art golf course where you could be able to play a full 9 holes through sculptures and all this stuff. And then next May, we're the Michigan venue for the Downton Abbey costume show and prop show. So we're not thinking about it too much. We're just going to plow forward and do all this stuff.
Right. Well, a lot of exhibits often have to be planned well in advance, right? So I imagine you've already started thinking about what's going to be in the new space when it's open. And you don't have to reveal any secrets, but I am sure you're starting to think about it.
Oh, yeah, we have at least one huge surprise for the opening that the community is going to love, but I'm not going to talk about that.
No, you shouldn't talk about it yet. I get that. Keep us waiting.
One piece that I think is important for folks to realize is that when we put on a big show, we attract about 40,000 visitors. So it's not a small thing to put on a show of the magnitude of Edward Curtis or Downton Abbey, because we will attract over the period of their run 25, 30, 40,000 visitors. And what that does to our community is huge. And it's important for our image and our sustainability. And it's a sustainability both for the Museum of Art and for the community.
Yeah. Well, with the Curtis, the last Curtis exhibit, the big one, weren't there people from every state in the country and like 20 or 30 countries?
Exactly.
I think every I remember hearing something like that.
29 countries, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. So I imagine there'll be a lot of interest in this upcoming one, and the Downton Abbey is certainly going to bring in a lot of people who are interested in that as well. It's great. What else can you tell us? Anything else you'd like to add, Frank?
Well, I think that what we're looking at is a construction period that would begin essentially next year. Hopefully, I would like to see it begin in the spring. Other people would like to maybe postpone it just a little longer, but we're going to get started next year. It's about an 18-month construction period. So during that period of time, we're going to be balancing our exhibits with the construction, and Kirk's going to have his hands full in terms of doing that. But we're looking to make the museum accessible during the entire period of time, so that we won't be closed, but we'll be welcoming visitors for the entire period. And it's important for us as an operation to continue the visitation, because that's a part of our revenue stream as well. We're an independent nonprofit corporation that is reliant entirely on the exhibits, the attendance, and the sponsorships of our exhibits for existence. So we can't let any of that go during this construction period. In fact, we have to try to enhance it, and that's what we're doing here.
Okay, thank you, Kirk. Anything else you'd like to add at the end?
No. I'd say next. Well, this is going to be broadcast after that, but I hope everyone had attended our reception to meet the architects and stuff on July 15th. Maybe I'll report on that when this is broadcast.
Okay. Yeah, because you'll be available for Q&A, so that's great. Well, thank you both. This is a very exciting community project, and will be such an enhancement for the community when it's completed. And we can all look forward to a new addition to the cultural scene to be proud of in Muskegon County. So thank you for taking the lead on this. It's a big project.
Well,
Thank you. And I would emphasize that we still need help. We have the hardest part is yet to go. This last 10%, this last 10 yards is difficult, and we know it's difficult, but we know that Muskegon will support us, and we're hopeful to get help from all the Rotarians in the community.
Okay. Great opportunity. Don't pass it up. Yes. Yes. Well, we would all be proud to have our names on your list of donors. That would be great if we could all do that. Yes.
Exactly.
Well,
thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you both for telling us all about it. And if there's nothing else to add today, we will turn the meeting back over to President Jason Pisecki. Thank you.